Our guest today is a very interesting fellow. His name is Titus Gebel, and he is a German national who lives in Monaco. And Titus has experience in international law. He has a PhD in international law and was a lawyer for many years before he went on to found a mining company in Germany. The mining company later went on to be publicly listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Titus is now retired after several years in business, and he lives in Monaco. And he is the founder and CEO of Free Private Cities, Inc., and they are a company that works to create services that are like a government, that have all the sort of basic functions that we need to have a society. But he is working to contract with countries around the world to improve their services and improve efficiency for their citizens. And again, thank you so much for being on, Titus. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started Free Private Cities?
Yes, with pleasure, Rick. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, as you said, I was working as an entrepreneur and had some success, but at the same time, and for many years, I was also politically active, engaged in, I would say, in the classical liberal spectrum in Germany, and was a big promoter of free markets and freedom and self-responsibility. But over the years, I found out that unfortunately in a democracy, there's no majority for that values, right? And you have to realize that after 30 years, I realized, okay, I can now do the same thing for 30 years, trying to convince people by talking to them, or I just do something completely unexpected, different result.
Yeah.
Or I could just do something completely new. And I decided that the latter would be my choice. And fortunately, I had this possibility by being financially successful to really work full-time on my passion, develop this Free Private Cities concept over 3 years, from 2015 to 2018, published a book, which has been translated in several languages now, and it's also available as audiobook and etc. And have people supporting me. And as you said, the idea is basically, well, forget about these political struggles. This is a market, and it's called the market of living together. And I'm just offering a new product. And the deal is easy. It's basically the protecting of life, liberty, and property in a defined area, and you pay a fixed amount for that. And if you like, and there are some rules, of course, and if you like it, you sign a real social contract. And I cannot, and here's a big difference, I cannot change that contract later. And this is one of the biggest fallacies, I would say, of our current systems, is that we all are told that there is a social contract and we have agreed to be governed. But the problem is, even if I agree to that, there's one side that is constantly changing the contract, the terms of the contract. And here's a secret, it's not us, never.
Right.
So there's a disbalance, right? If something's wrong, and because in normal life you wouldn't do that. You go in a restaurant, you say, I want to order this food, and I know what is the price. And it's not possible that the waiter or the restaurant owner later says, so by the way, we are bringing you more things that you have not ordered, and you pay double. But this is exactly the situation we as normal citizens are in, right? And that is a problem, and this is also one of the reasons why I relocated to Monaco, because here you're more or less left alone. People can do what they want. The state is guaranteeing security, some infrastructure. And I thought, okay, if this is what people obviously like, because there are many people want to live here, a private company can offer that.
Right.
So this is the basic idea in a nutshell.
And so you said the protection of life, liberty, and property. So that would be something like some kind of court system, some police force, basic emergency response.
Yes.
Anything else? Utilities, right? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's the point. You have a police. You have, or call it security. Firefighters, emergency rescue, some infrastructure will be there. There will probably also be a minimum protection that we just do not starve or die on the streets. But this will be all included in the fixed amount, and these things you cannot negotiate. You just have to take it or leave it. But everything apart from these basic services, you can decide on your own. If you want to have an extra insurance for unemployment or health or whatever, and if you want an health insurance, is it a big one or is it a small one or medium one? What kind of education? Certainly, we will provide you with some offers, some supply, but it's up to you to choose. So you, instead of political participation, you have maximum self-determination. Right? You can decide for your own, because the basis that is really sought after by everyone is really security, right? You do not want to go out of your house and having fear of being robbed or being killed.
Right.
So, and everybody wants that. That's really something everybody wants, and that is therefore something that we can provide. Normally, the state can provide that, but the problem with the state is that they are constantly changing the rules, right? And they say, okay, we have made a new law, and now you have to pay for the swimming pool. And this is the good thing about the contractual system, right? If you were a citizen in my free private city, and you had subscribed those obligatory package of security and some infrastructure, and they tell you, okay, you have to pay $1,000 a year. That's about the number, right? So, and then your fellow citizens say, hey, let's build a swimming pool, and we form a council, and 90% decide, yeah, let's build a swimming pool. And you say, wait a minute, I haven't signed for that, right? I just signed up with Titus, and I do not want to be part of your council and your decisions. You finance your ideas by yourself. And that's exactly the situation, right? Because in this case, you would be indeed protected by the contract, whereas in the conventional systems, you would just be overruled by majority or by whoever has the right to decide. And that sounds very new and radical, but it's not new and radical, because we are doing exactly the same in our daily lives on the product markets and the service markets, right? We do not like our smartphone provider, or the technology is not really working, just buy another one.
Yeah.
Right? And that is basically what I want to provide. It's like, look, here is the system. If you like it, please come. And there will be competition, of course. If this is working, and this is a for-profit model, because this is giving me the incentives to treat you well, to attract new customers, and to have an attractive product, right? This is a much better incentive than pretending that you are working for the common goal, where in reality, first and foremost, you are working for your own sake, right, as a politician. Because people are like that. I know no difference, but if you give me an incentive to treat you right, because otherwise you will cancel the contract, you will leave, and I will eventually become insolvent, right? So this is a good incentive for me to treat you and all the other citizens well, and to stick to the rules that I have promised.
Now, yeah, so that's great. So it's an actual contract people can follow, and people can, and the company has to stick to. Now, where in the world are you starting to develop relationships with governments? And are you doing it at the highest level of the government, or more at a city level?
Yeah. No, you have to do it at the highest level of the government, because it often requires a change of the laws or even the constitution in that particular country. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, I think you forgot about it, because you mentioned it, the courts. Yes, I will provide courts that will be part of the service, which is a very, very unique selling proposition for many countries, because the courts in those countries are either not working or corrupt. So if I can offer for the average Joe a working court, that is a big plus in many parts of the world. Right? So I would come with my own people, with my own court system. It's either common law or civil law system, which is formed after internationally best standards. So there's no inventing the wheel new. It's not necessary. But then what I have to ask the government is, look, we need to make that happen, and I tell it it's not a free private cities. Why not? Because there are two words. Well, it is a free private city. That's the concept, and the concept is described well by that term. But in reality, politicians do not necessarily like the words free or private. Right? So you better sell it as it's a special economic zone plus, or it's a prosperity zone. But you have to give up some of your autonomy, or give us some autonomy, and you're keeping sovereignty for foreign policy defense and all that will be still part of the country, comparable to the system China, Hong Kong. But you have also very independent special economic zones in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Two of them even have their own judges with their own British-based legal system. So these are things that make it a little bit easier for me to approach governments. On the other hand, I mean, this is still a very radical new concept. So the reality is that stable Western countries are definitely not interested in that. It's more countries that have some issues, that are forced to look for new ideas, that have found out that special economic zones nobody's interested in because nobody trusts the government and things like that. And so you we need that regime for a long period of time, and you need to give some guarantees for investors, investor protection, etc. So this is a big deal, and this is certainly the most difficult part of the whole story is negotiating with governments, but that's what we are currently doing.
Got it. And so you're going to start with a special economic zone, so a specific geographic location, or some kind of an existing state or existing province would be assigned that. Yeah,
look, here's the thing. I mean, the whole Earth is taken, right? There's nothing left, maybe in Antarctica, but nobody wants to go there, right? So you have to negotiate with existing countries. You say, yes, because the special economic zone model is already known, so that makes it easier. Say it's not a special economic zone, it's a special economic zone plus, next level, right? Mm-hmm. But you're right, we need a certain territory, and since my concept says it's 100% voluntary participation, we have to start in uninhabited areas, okay? Ideally with the excess, so that it's later easier to import-export things, even if the government is not really friendly any longer. So, but it's a defined territory, and you need a special status for this territory. Here's the deal: it's a win-win situation, right? If you go into an area that is formerly undeveloped, in a country that has issues with corruption, stability, crime, no investors coming. So we say, okay, look, we may form a stable framework here, but here's the deal: you give us autonomy, and then investors are coming. Jobs are created, also for your own people, for your own companies of your country. And normally what happens with the city-states, if you look at Hong Kong, Singapore, or Monaco, a big belt of wealth is established around that cities, and this would be in your state, and you would get all the taxes and all that. So this is the deal proposal we are basically making.
So you're saying that maybe the state itself isn't taxed; it's a tax-free place, but you're saying around it, it's also wealthier.
Yes, and so it's a win-win, and we can only also negotiate that we are paying a certain amount per year because we are making use of the protection of this state, of maybe some infrastructure. So it's a fair deal to say we are in negotiation with a Central American country, and there the deal is that 12% of our fees would go to this government, right? Which is it's okay. Right, it's a fair deal because they are giving something to us and we are paying back. So normally, indeed, there would be no taxes within our free private city because it's a fee system, right? You pay, as I told you, maybe about $1,000 a year as a fee for mostly for security, some institutions, and for the rest you're on your own. So but still, if companies are coming, if new investors are coming, if people are coming, even on the other side of the border, there will be something created which wasn't there before. So it's easily to show that there can be a win-win situation created by building such a free private city.
Great. And so how can people either get involved or find out more about free private cities?
We have set up a website. It's called freeprivatecities.com, and there you can subscribe for a newsletter which is coming every quarter, not more often. And there you will be informed if a new development is taking shape, and there will be a time where we'll say, okay, now it's time. Now we can apply for citizenship or for residence, and but still it's a long process. I mean, we are relatively close in Central America in one project. The other projects, we have projects in Africa and in the Caucasus region. They are early days. So, but this is going to happen in the next, I would say, 3 to 5 years, maybe even earlier. And other people are working on similar ideas. So I think the time is just right, because people do not want to be subjects any longer of governments or even majorities. They want to decide for themselves, and they say, okay, I'm an adult, I can decide for myself. I know I can decide which charities and which political cases I support. And we offer that because we are just a framework provider, right? And how this framework is filled, that is up to you residents. It's a spontaneous order, right? Limited only by the rules in the contract and the legal framework, or the stability framework, security framework we have established. And I think this is a much better, much more attractive product than what current societies can offer you. At least that's my business idea, and also my philosophical idea. And I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to work on that until the end of my life.
Great. Well, I'm really hopeful that this will turn out, and want to thank you for coming on and for sharing. Also, is your book on the website as well?
Yeah, but it's also available through Amazon or what else? The iTunes, Google Books, or whatever. And it's available in English as an audio book, a printed book, an e-book. So whatever you prefer, it's available. Just you find it over the website or just through Amazon.
And what's the name of the book?
It's called Free Private Cities, Making Governments Compete for You.
Great. Well, thank you so much.